Well, parents, one way to keep the kids busy this summer is through reading.
That's right. And Carlos is checking out the Historical Society. They've got a pretty cool thing. It's actually their book club, but they're doing this virtually, right, Carlos?
Well, yeah, Ben, let's be honest. I mean, when you say to a kid over the summer, hey, you're going to join a book club, they're not like, yeah. But, you know, the summer slide is a big thing that happens every summer, and it might be more pronounced this year over past years because kids have been out of school for so much longer. So the Indiana Historical Society is doing a virtual book club. I talked to Beth Whitaker with the Indiana Historical Society about this amazing opportunity to keep your kids informed about the history of Indiana. So is this a book club for the 21st century?
It is, especially for our youth. For ages 9 to 13, we're doing a virtual book club for this summer. The book is called Alone, The Journey of Boy Sims. Instead of our typical book club where we meet and we gather in a circle and we talk about it, we're going to be doing it over Zoom. We're all going to have a copy of the book. We're going to read it together and then meet once a week online to talk about it.
Is the difference between this book club and other book clubs is that they're learning about the history of Indiana?
Yes. We're teaching about Indiana in frontier life, 1830, and everything that's going on, all of the people that you would encounter in 1830 in Indiana.
Not only are you going to be discussing the book, there's also some other activities as well.
Yeah, so with this, as a club member, you will receive an activity packet, which has 6 different activities in it. Some of them to do with your family, some of them to do with the club, and they all tie back into the book.
One of those activities is actually making ink.
In the story, The Journey of Boy Sims, we meet Joshua Sims, who has to go on a trek to get ink. We're going to be making ink using common household ingredients. Steel wool, some white distilled vinegar, 5 bags of tea, some hot water. You're going to take your steel wool and kind of break it up a little bit, and you are going to put it into a jar of white vinegar. And as that's in there, it's going to slowly start to dissolve all of the compounds in the steel wool. While that's happening, we're going to take our 5 tea bags, and we are going to steep these 5 tea bags. So I'm going to add my hot water, and then we'll put each of these components into our jar to be able to make ink that we'll be able to write with.
So not only are kids learning from books, they're also learning practical uses of ways to make ink.
Yeah, and looking at the science behind how compounds work together to form permanent substances.
Times like this, you really need to find activities that sometimes you might not have thought of in the past.
And that's what we're hoping that we're able to provide for families.
So registration for the book club is starting now, and of course it goes until June 12th. The book club starts at the end of June, goes all the way through July. And like I said, a book club might not sound like the most exciting thing in the world, but Ben, Julia, I was on vacation with my kids last week, and a lot of parents are feeling what I felt, which was like, what do we do? There's not that much to do for kids these days. And Julia, I am so happy to hear that you might get your son Cole involved in something like this, because it really is a great way to keep his mind engaged.
I was like, don't tell him, Carlos.
How are you going to surprise him with this?
I know.
What's your master plan?
I even offer to my children to read, and they're teens at this point, but I even offer to read the books with them so then we can discuss it, even if it's something I read 30,
I'm sure they'd love that.
Love it, Carlos.
So Julia, love a book club.
Yeah, that's right. I love it. I'm trying to wrap my head around what your plan is to fool them into joining this virtual book club with Mom. But I like it. I think if anyone can do it, it's you.
I'll stick it in a box of Oreos or something.
That's right. I know. Carlos, thanks a lot, man. Let's